Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Path of Glow 3 quest. Now, for this quest you need the following requirements. So you must have completed the Waterfall quest, the Eyes of Glow 3 and Tree Gnome Village. You will all need these skill requirements: level 60 Strength, level 56 Thieving and 56 Slayer, level 47 Range and level 45 Agility. You will have to defeat some enemies near the end part of this quest, 3 Warped Terror Birds level 82, but they're not that difficult, so don't worry too much about combat levels. Obviously if you have 56 Slayer, I imagine you got a pretty decent combat level anyway. That's it for requirements. Now onto the items. You'll need either a small crystal seed or crystal saw, which you would have obtained as a reward from the Eyes of Glow 3 quest. Obviously it should be in your bank, the crystal saw, or if it's reverted to its crystal seed state, that's fine, you can bring either one of those with you. You'll need a crossbow and mithril grapple, any type of crossbow, and obviously the mithril grapple with the rope attached to it. And you will also need a key, which we obtained during the Waterfall quest, but we can re-obtain that during the quest. Don't worry about that too much. And obviously any other items to bring, obviously armour and weapon to fight the terror birds, and a different amount of food as well. Some run restoring items will come in handy, as there's a bit you got to run for a cavern quite a while, so either some super energy potions, or if you've got the explorer's ring that can do run recharge 3 times, that should be enough for you. Also, either earmuffs, masked earmuffs, or a Slayer helmet will reduce the strength of the terror bird's ranged attack. So when you have to run through the cave, there's quite a lot of aggressive terror birds, so that will probably help with that as well. So that is it for the requirements and items. Now onto the quest starting point. So I am currently at Tree Gnome Village near the Spirit Tree, and you can obviously access that by using the Spirit Tree from anywhere across RuneScape. The easiest one really is to teleport to the Grand Exchange and use the Northeast Spirit Tree to get to Tree Gnome Village. And once you're there, you want to talk to King Bolren to start the quest. So the king will tell you that he has acquired a new pet dumpling, who you immediately recognise as an evil creature in disguise. You'll try to warn the king about the evil spy, and he'll explain that it is shrouded by an illusion. However, the king will refuse to believe you, so you must now devise a way to reveal the pet's true identity to Bolren. To do so, you require an anti-illusion similar to the one in Oaknock's machine, which we used in the preceding quest. The king will recommend you look underground for a local gnome who might know something about anti-illusion mechanism. So you'll want a fair amount of free inventory spaces for this part of the quest, as we're going to be obtaining crystalline discs similar to what we did in the prequel quest in Eyes of Glow 3. So obviously the less stuff you can bring, the better. Squeeze through the southwest fence and walk east to a dungeon ladder. You want to go down and talk to Golry in the western area of the cave. When you talk to him about anti-illusion devices, he tells you that his grandfather used to travel the world and collected elven items to send to him as souvenirs. He would have kept the parcels and crates he received in the storeroom located in the other part of the dungeon. So he will tell you to search his storeroom for a key. Go to the eastmost room and search the stacked crates on the east side as you enter the area. They'll be slightly different coloured to the rest of them, so they should stand out. And then once you find the key, go back to where Golry is and use it on the northern gate. Search a chest and you'll obtain some crystalline discs. You can also use the drop trick method to get some more discs, which will provide you more options for solving the puzzle later on. So simply with the drop trick, just obviously drag the items out of your inventory and they'll appear on the floor, and then search the chest again to get some more discs, and obviously repeat that until you've got quite a variety of discs just to help you out. Once you've done that, head back to Golry and talk to him about the anti-illusion device, and he will mention a tunnel in the eastern part of the cave. So head back to the storeroom and crawl into the opening on the northern wall. So once through, you'll have to pass a monolith puzzle. So all you have to do is move the 4 monoliths a specific direction and then search all the crates and chests. So first push the monolith north, then walk past it and search the chest to receive some more crystalline discs. Next, walk over to the next set of monoliths and push the southwest monolith north, then push the northwest monolith east. Search all the chests, which requires 56 thieving, with the cave until you obtain a key and Unox notes. Now push the small monolith south and push the northwest monolith west. And now go to the singing bowl and use your crystal saw or seed on it, and then right click the bowl and choose the sing option to transform the seed into a crystal chime. You then want to use the key to open the mahogany chest and get the strong room key. And then finally push the southeast monolith west and use the strong room key on the gate. The scene will fade out and back with you now standing in the area with Unox anti-illusion device and a lectern in the corner containing Bolri's diary. You want to read Bolri's diary on the lectern to see different chapters, and by clicking on them you'll see different cutscene that proves insight into Bolri's grandfather and will also unlock a new music track. Okay, so the device is very similar to the one we did in the Eyes of Glow 3 quest, where different shapes equal a value, and the value is determined by the colour of an item and the number of its sides. And the machine has 2 operating panels. The right panel will allow you to exchange tokens, and the left forms the puzzle. Now the value of the tokens or tokens you insert need to add up to the same total of the ones that's being displayed. Like I said, very similar to the puzzle in Eyes of Glow 3, except instead of being given a number, you are given tokens to match instead, so you need to obviously know what the value is. So to make this easy for you guys, in the video description below I will tell you what every shape and colour is worth in terms of numerical value, because obviously the number that you're going to have to make, it will be completely different to the one I've got, but I can obviously explain the method in order to work out what you need to do. Okay, so when you click to operate the machine, it will come up with an interface. So you'll have a one slot at the very top of it. So in my instance, it is showing 2 yellow pentagons. Now, a yellow pentagon is worth 15, so 2 of them makes the value of 30. So what that means is, obviously, I've only got 1 slot, so you obviously want to pay attention to this part as well. I need to insert a shape with a value of 30 to be able to match that first part. Now, looking at the chart of all the different numbers and that, the only shape that gives me a value of 30 is an indigo pentagon. Now, if obviously you don't have the required shape already, obviously from all the discs that you collected earlier, and obviously like I said, the drop trick would have massively helped. What you can do is use the exchanger next to you. So how to use the exchanger, you basically insert a disc and you can either turn a big disc into smaller values, or alternatively if you add a few discs, you can combine some lower value discs into a higher value disc. So basically that's the purpose of the exchanger. Fortunately, I obviously had a indigo pentagon, so I was able to add that to the first slot. So once you've figured out what the first slot is, just obviously pay attention to that and make sure you don't lose the shape that obviously you need for it. So if we now look at the next slot, you've actually got 2 slots to be able to make up to the number of the current shape that's being shown to you. So the shape that's being shown to me is a violet circle, which has a value of 7. Now this makes things a little bit easier, so you can either add a shape with a value of 1 and another shape as a value of 6 to make 7, or 2 and 5, or 3 and 4. You've got plenty of options there. So for me, these are the choices I had. I could have added a red circle, an indigo circle, which have added up to 7, or an orange circle and a blue circle that adds up to 7. There's a lot of different variety. It's quite likely you won't have a load of lower value shapes in order to make that number, so you may have to use the exchanger to obviously get some shapes in order for you to do that. So personally, I would just sort of note down which ones you need, so you know what to look out for instead of just going for any old shape. So in the end, I was able to exchange one of my shapes into the relevant ones. So what I ended up picking was a orange triangle and a red circle. Orange triangle has a value of 6, red circle has a value of 1, equaling the 7. So once you have the 3 shapes that you need, you can obviously then put them back into the puzzle. So open it interface again, pick the shape that you used for the first one, and hopefully you guys haven't gone and exchanged that for another one. That's why I said obviously make sure you keep an eye on what shape you needed. So obviously my indigo pentagon went into the top one with a value of 35, and then the orange triangle and red circle got inserted into the second slot for a value of 7. So that is now correct, and then once you press the tick or green button, whatever you want to call it, the machine will then become operational. So like I said, it will be different for each of you. Hopefully I've explained the method in how to solve it easily enough, and obviously just use what I've got in the video description to work out what value the shape is that you've got to match, and then obviously go from there. But obviously the one thing I recommend is by doing that drop trick from earlier on in the quest, just to obtain as many discs as you can. That just solves having to use the exchanger more than needed. So once you've started the machine, you may now safely drop all the discs to free up inventory space, and you then want to head back up to the village, and you'll now be able to kill the Watcher because Dumpling has been exposed as the evil spy. So once you've done that, talk to King Bolrun again, and he will tell you a lot of a gnome named Long Ramble, and who went in search of the Lost City, where Glowfree resides. Now, however, no one knows his location, and only Jian Jr. at the Grand Tree may be able to help. So we now need to use the Spirit Tree to travel to the Grand Tree. So once you're at the Tree Gnome Stronghold, you want to head to the Grand Tree and climb up to the very first floor, and then speak to Jian Jr., who can be found in the northwest corner, and you'll need to talk to him to learn about Long Ramble, the explorer's whereabouts. So he will tell you that he's been trying to deliver a dish of tangled toad legs to him at the coordinates of 2 degrees 7 minutes south and 3 degrees 7 minutes west, but hasn't able to get through to him. So obviously we're going to head there now. You don't need to use a sextant to find out where that is. I'll obviously just lead you to it. So you want to teleport near the Castle Walls area, so either teleport to Castle Walls using a Ring of Dueling, or teleport to the Yanil Lodestone via the Lodestone network and then head in that direction. Once you're approaching Castle Walls, you want to keep heading along the southern part of Castle Walls, through like sort of a swampy area, and then what you'll end up getting there is where you'll see hopefully a Long Ramble, and there'll be an area where you can use the crossbow and grapple that you should have with you on the tree to reach the island to cross the other side. So talk to Long Ramble, and he will share his findings regarding the sewer, which he believes is proof of gnomish involvement, as elves do not pollute their environment. And if desired, and you have got it, you can use the tangled toad legs on him, and he'll reward you with a mint cake that restores your run energy to 100%. So head halfway up and you'll come across a dying spirit tree. The spirit tree has lost connection to the Anima Mundi, as his roots have been corrupted by the black ichor that has been caused by the gnomes. Hazelmere, sensing your connection, will contact you and provides a way to heal the sick tree, as elven magic revolves around Seren, the god. So with the crystal chime that you obtained earlier in the quest, you want to use the chime on the tree and it will be healed, allowing you to access the dungeon, and the tree will now be part of the spirit tree network once again. So you'll be able to use this tree to teleport to all the other spirit trees and vice versa. When you're ready, however, you want to walk west into the dungeon entrance to explore. So you'll now be in the Poison Waste dungeon, which is filled with warped tortoises and warped terror birds. The warped tortoises aren't aggressive, but the terror birds are, and they'll use frequent accurate ranged attacks. However, like I said at the beginning of the quest, earmuffs, masked earmuffs or a Slayer helmet will reduce the maximum hit of the ranged attacks to 20, but they're still quite accurate. So the end of the tunnel has a room containing 2 warp tortoises and also connects to 3 other rooms, and that is where we need to head. So what you need to do is basically run through the entire Poison Waste dungeon until you reach the very end of it. Obviously you will continuously take damage from the Terror Birds. Protect from missiles does help if you have that prayer, but the main thing really is just to keep running using the run restore potions or whatever item you brought with you. The Explorer's Ring's quite handy for that, and obviously healing up where necessary, and just head all the way through the dungeon, and I'll speak to you in a minute. So when you get to the end of the tunnel, it connects to 3 other rooms. Ignore the north and west room and enter the east room, which contains 3 warped Terror Birds, and you need to kill them before you can carry on. So the Terror Birds, as long as you've obviously got the masked earmuffs or Slayer helmet, and obviously if you've got Protect from missiles, that helps, you'll be able to dispatch them pretty quickly. You can fight all 3 in one go if you're feeling up for that, and obviously you can use multi-hitting abilities in order to dispatch them quicker. After killing the 3 monsters, peek through the door on the other side and you'll enjoy a long and remarkable cutscene where you'll see 2 Terror Birds that are able to talk to one another, and they'll end up spotting you and triggering the traps in the battle room. During the cutscene, don't do anything, as it will appear you're actually being killed, but don't worry, you won't be. Hazelmere will end up assisting you, and he'll teleport you to his house to save you from death. Once you're all back at Hazelmere's house, you want to talk to him to complete the quest. So after you've finished speaking to him, it will come up, congratulations, you've completed the Path of Glow 3 quest. You're rewarded with 1 quest point, 30,000 strength experience, 20,000 Slayer experience, 5,000 thieving and magic experience, access to the Poison Waste Slayer dungeon, access to a new spirit tree, and to have the ability to use the spirit tree for direct teleportation. You'll also receive 2 treasure hunter keys and 2 hearts of ice. So there we go, quest complete. Not a very difficult quest at all. The only thing you guys might get a little bit stuck at is the bit with the puzzle, obviously using the anti-illusion device. But if you've recently completed the Eyes of Glow 3 quest, you should remember roughly, you know, how to do it. So hopefully with my explanation as well, that would have made it a lot easier for you. In terms of rewards, pretty decent. The experience in Strength and Slayer will most likely bump you up a few levels, and having the ability to be assigned warped tortoises and Terror Birds is very good, especially the warped tortoises. You'll probably notice you'll get assigned them more as a Slayer task. They give quite good drops. They actually drop tortoise shells, sometimes in multiples of 3, and they're worth a fair amount on the Grand Exchange, so obviously that can be quite profitable for you, and obviously it required this quest for you to be able to be assigned them as a task. But yeah, other than that, I don't think you'll get stuck following my guide. However, if you do run into any problems, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you as best I can. If not, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers guys, bye bye.